is.
You're stuck.
Yes, so now I don't know what to say. Thank you, Jos. That was beautiful, so that's me. In a completely traditional way, I started preparing this little presentation last night. And I asked my wife, what would you like to see? You know, you will be there. This is one of the few lectures that I'm ever doing that you will be there. So what would you like to see? And she said, what the hell is this book about? Can you give me, just make it short, you know, just make it concise and try it in 10 slides. So I said, okay, there's a good challenge for the evening before the launch. So I tried to summarize the whole thing in 10 slides. It's going to be hard, but I'll do my best. So, you will hear a lot of talking about a couple of concepts today, and one of them is branding. And branding is in many people's view about this stuff, you know, sending messages into the world that no one's really waiting for, advertisements. The kind of branding that we're talking about is different. The kind of branding that we'll be talking about today is much more about creating a shared vision that you can use to actually do useful things or to do meaningful things. So it's a kind of dream or a passion or an ambition. It's a different kind of branding. You also hear the word innovation a lot. And innovation in many people's minds is about, you know, guys in white suits doing very complex stuff for whatever space agencies. Of course, obviously this is also innovation, but this is not the kind of innovation that we'll be talking about today. We'll be much more talking about simply creating new products and services that have some kind of value to people. And that can be just a little bit different, or it can be a little bit new. Sometimes it involves technology, sometimes it doesn't. It depends. And then there's design. You know, a lot of people think of this dude when they think about design. And we have a slightly different perception of what we think design is here at the school, and also when we talk about brand-driven innovation, the way I talk about design in the book. Design is not about styling. Design is not about creating nice shiny objects. No, design is about making innovations more usable or more pleasant to use, or maybe using a little less material, or maybe making it a bit cheaper but still add functionality. So that's what design is in our perception. So this is sort of setting the stage for what we'll be talking about today. So if we zoom in a little bit, what is this brand-driven innovation then? First of all, when you use a brand to drive innovation, you need it to be some kind of relationship. I was thinking about my dad last night. My dad drives Citroën. Where is my dad? Yes, there he is. He drives Citroën, and he will drive Citroën all his life. Obviously not because of the cars, right? I mean, that must be the brand.
It is parents.
The people at Citroën do stuff that my dad appreciates. So somehow there's a relationship between the people at Citroën who understand what my dad appreciates, and my dad has this understanding of the people of Citroën and likes what they do, and that turns into a relationship. I think that's really what branding is all about, building this relationship. And once you have that relationship, then it's worthwhile to start innovating, to start developing new products and services on the basis of that relationship. So take, for example, Michelin. Michelin used to be about tires, right? Sorry, Arne, for stealing your slide. But it's okay? I can skip it now.
You haven't seen it.
And you could say that the brand promise of Michelin used to be, we make the kind of tires that get you anywhere. And they're safe, and they're durable, and they're not too expensive. And that's our brand promise. And they fulfilled that brand promise by making good tires. But then the world changed, and mobility changed, and people needed somewhere to go. So Michelin started making maps. They started fulfilling that promise of, we take you places, by making maps. So they innovated from tires to maps. But then if you have a map and you have nowhere to go, it doesn't work either. So they started making guides of where to go using that map, using your tire. And then at some point they said, if you're going to a city, you need to know where to go. So what is a good place to go? And they started doing their Michelin star system. So what you see here is a brand promise that needs to be kept in time. And the world changes, and the brand changes, and people change, and the relationship evolves, like relationships do. And they keep fulfilling that promise by innovating, by creating new products, new services, new concepts. This is a very good example of what brand-driven innovation can be. Brands imply a promise that needs to be kept.
That was my slide.
That's your slide.
Yeah, that's mine.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I stole from Arne and Ralph.
Skip that.
That's how we do it.
You forget about it.
Did you write that?
Nothing is original in the book, you know.
No.
Standing on the shoulders of giants, you know. So the brand is this relationship, and it creates this promise. We will, in the case of Michelin, we will help you with your mobility. We will provide you with safe mobility or with worthwhile mobility. And the innovation part is fulfilling that promise and creating the products and services that fulfill that promise. On the other hand, though, so branding needs this new product development, new service development, innovation to fulfill the brand promise. On the other hand, innovation needs that branding part as well, at least that's my opinion. If you innovate without having a vision or without having this set of values or this set of beliefs, you get these useless gadgets, these stupid products that don't really have any meaning, they don't even have any purpose, they don't show real understanding of the user. So I think innovation needs that branding part as well for guidance. So that's why I use that figure 8 a lot. They influence each other. It's like this sort of symbiotic relationship. Design is smack in the middle there. You will hear the word design a lot today, design management, design strategy. That's partly because it sounds really cool, but it's partly also because we really think that design has a huge role to play in making innovations more usable, more user-friendly, maybe more sustainable, maybe less wasteful, maybe less useless, maybe more durable in time, etc., etc. And design also has a purpose in putting this abstract set of values, that is the brand, this abstract vision, into practice, making it real, making it tangible, turning it into real solutions. Design turns complex ambitions into tangible human solutions. This is a picture I took at, where was that? You were there? At the
It's yours.
Design Council, yes, it's Ralph, at the Design Council in London, where they say, how do you make hospitals better for patients and save money too? Design a way to refit wards, hospital rooms, without shutting them down. So they're doing a project using designers to create a whole new system of renovating hospitals in a way that keeps the hospital operating, that doesn't harm the patients, and that creates a better healing environment. I mean, that's what design can do, and that's the kind of design that turns this abstract vision into concrete reality, and that's the kind of design that we're talking about. That whole system of thought is explained in the first 2 chapters of the book, which is pretty hard because it's very concise, but the publisher wanted me to also give practical guidance to people. How do you actually go about doing that? So the next part of the book is 4 chapters on practice. What does it mean if you want to combine branding, innovation, design into an overall framework? How do you do that? And this is the model that evolved from that. And you start here with human-centered branding. And the idea behind human-centered branding is that you don't throw a brand at an organization and hope it lands, because it doesn't. It's about creating a brand together by having sessions, talking to each other, talking to users, and finding out what that shared vision might be. And if you do that in the right way, you get to a story that really clings to people, that really, really makes sense, and that really feels like it's their own. And then you have a basis to actually start doing something. This loop indicates the internal and the external side. You always build a brand both internally in an organization, but also externally with users, with people in the outside world. And once you've done that, you can build an innovation strategy whose purpose it is to bring that vision to life and to really fulfill that brand promise. Then you start using design to make that real and tangible and usable and create great products and services that do that. And then the last stage is called touchpoint orchestration, which is about orchestrating all the different brand touchpoints, all the different places where a user may come into contact with the brand. It can be a website, it can be a service desk, it can be the T-Mobile lady you call to complain. It can be anything. And it's a real challenge for organizations to handle that and to organize that in a way that everyone knows their role, but is also free to improvise and to live the brand and not live by guidelines, because people don't like guidelines. And then of course the model bites itself in the tail, like models do. Jan knows all about that. And it's because once you've created that whole set of new touch points, obviously the world has changed, your brand has changed, and you need to, refigure what your organization is about and what your brand is about. So that's brand-driven innovation in 10 steps, basically. What it means, and that's the more personal note on my little speech, this requires a whole new way of working. And the reason I invited all of you here is because that whole new way of working is us. It's working together with you. And I think I work with many of you professionally in cooperations for clients, in initiatives for ourselves, in evenings, conferences, unconferences, chat sessions, Twitter sessions, you name it. And we have this new way of working to share. And I decided to call it jamming. We're jamming together. We are improvising. There's no hierarchy. There's no strict set of rules. There's no real, the client is there and the consultant is there. It's mixing. It's, everyone has their own expertise and admires and respects each other's expertise, but knows also how to use someone else and when it's your turn. And we listen to each other and we work together. And I think it's a really, really cool era to be a professional, to be a consultant, and to be able to have you all here. Of course, the book is nice, but it's having you here is a lot nicer. And the fact that there's so many great projects that we're doing together. So thank you very much for being here. Have a great day, and I give it back to Jos.